I'm grateful to a lot of people in life. Lots of people. Dave Gunning and Bill Clark, and Dot Almond at a Great House, Colin Jellicoe, giving my first opening, and many, many more. Well, my painting and drafting, it started with drawing like everybody else really. As I can remember, it was about 10, I think, and we were doing a competition for, I think it was for Cadbury's. I elected to attempt to, others wrote, I elected attempt to do some drawing, and I'd always thought, well, we'll see what we can do with a pencil. And I copied from a book a rather sort of cartoon figure of a Roman soldier. So it wasn't a solid drawing, it was kind of as I would do in a newspaper with little sort of rough lines. But I found myself copying every little line, forging if you want, almost, which most of us start out doing, this picture. Weeks later, the teacher approaches me and says, "You won this prize for the school." I was quite shocked. She said, "Well, it's something you've got an knack for, why don't you try it again?" So from then on, I took I practiced my drawing, and I used to copy, like everybody else, little sort of cartoon figures or children's books. I reached the age of 11, and there was this competition in the evening news, and at that time I'd gone to a school called Nichols, and my art teacher was called Mr. Henshaw, and he introduced me to a good, strong watercolour, a quality one, like nice watercolour. I'd never used amateur stuff, children's things. And I did this painting of a horse, and he said, "No, that's not you. I can tell it isn't you. Your tones are heavy." He said, "Have you tried doing something industrial?" So I didn't quite understand what he meant. So he said, "What's she seen like out your window?" I said, "It's terrace houses." "Well, go away and paint the terrace houses and let me see what you get." I came back, and I remember the title of it. It was called Green Street. And he said, we'll put this in this evening news competition. And all we all get a letter saying, "You've won this competition," which was £10, quite a lot of money then, £10 and a box of oils. So I've not got a clue how to use oils. Well, rushing back to my teacher, I said to him, "Look, I haven't got a clue how to use these, what is it?" He said, I'll give you an idea. And he put me through my paces with oils. And he taught me that the primary colours can be made. He went through, he built me a sort of a chart, mixing these 3 primary colours, red, yellow and blue, with the inclusion of black and white, and showed me how to get tones and different colours, brown, different sort of tones of changing the blue, changing the red, changing the yellow slightly into an ochre, and then into the tertiaries and the tone, really heavy tones. That's where we went from there. And I just kind of kept at it, and I won a competition done by a group called Shankar. Well, he was actually a businessman that loved art, and he did it for children, this competition. And I won the English section of it. And again from that, I was invited to London to Indian House Hall, which I think that'll be in 1962. Presented with a hand-beaten silver cup Indian, lovely meal, and during the course of this, a lady from the WVS approached me and said, "Would you like to stay in London for a short while, and I'll introduce you to some quite well-known artists?" And I thought, well, I don't know, I'm a bit frightened, you know, like being a kid. So she said, "Well, I'll approach your parents first and see what they have to say." So she did. And my mum and dad said, "Well, if you want to go, you can go." So, and they said, "Who was you staying with?" Well, it was Lady Reading. And she was one of the people that kind of built the WVS, Women's Voluntary Organisation. And it was basically for children before the war, when times were poor, but it built up by then. So anyway, to cut long story short, I went down, and it was one Lansdowne Road, Kensington. It's a palace. So I didn't know what to do. I was out in depth, you know. So she she brought me into the flat, and the vast table, and she said, "Do you know your etiquette?" I said, "Pardon?" She said, "Do you know how to lay your cutlery out?" I said, "Well, I do actually, because fortunately I had a teacher that was in the army and he was quite strong." "Well, what's that knife for?" And I told her, "Fish," blah, blah, and that's it.
Right.
And she said, "Oh, you do, mate, that's fine." And then she introduced me to her daughter, who was about to marry a guy who worked for the Evening News, a sub-editor. And they took me to Fleet Street and then wrote a little piece on it and sent it back to Manchester Evening News, and it was a nice little piece. And then of course she said she introduced me to the artist. But one of them was Yehudi Menuhin, the musician, yeah. And consequently, she had this flat, but it was her place, the house, but he rented downstairs, Yehudi Menuhin. And on the top flat was this wonderful watercolour artist, I've forgotten her name now. And during the course of a month, I had the most fantastic time for a little boy that I couldn't have even dreamt of. Never dreamt of it. But it kind of opened my world up a little, you know, more than I ever would have dreamed of. Introduced me to art more, chats with professionals, kind of quantified my work, told me where I was up to, and I developed quite quickly, and they were pleased for a boy I made agent, like that, with fashion. And it was just a fantastic time, and from then on, I met my wife later on, and well, I was about 16 or 17, and she was quite keen that I find a gallery to show my work. I wasn't too worried about a gallery at that time, but my wife pushed and pushed. She said, "I've spotted one in town, a guy called Colin Jellicoe." She said, "I've been in and he's not been open long. He'd like you to bring your work and show." So I did, and he liked the work, but it took a full 12 months before I sold the piece. And he said to me, "Don't worry about it. It's as soon as you get confidence in what you do, and if one buyer buys, others will come along." And that's the beginning of it all. From then on, I moved out to Horwich, found a gallery there, Mrs. Dot Almond, Great House Gallery, and she's some wonderful artists, real quality artists, good professionals. And that again introduced me to a little bit higher up the league, in a sense, shall we say. I've kind of been very fortunate in my life. The people I've dealt with, you know, have been very good. Of course, now I met in later years, I came across a chap called Dave Gunning, who was a magnificent salesman and his knowledge of art really impressed me. But his shop is like the old curiosity shop. Yeah. At first I didn't want to get involved. I thought, no, this guy's like crazy, you know. It turned out I took 4 pieces to Dave, and I left them with him. And before I got home, I get the call on the answer, "Reg, I've sold those 4 pieces."
Right.
So he had the clientele, and they liked him right away. So from then on, for the next few years, Dave and I had a repartee, and I literally love that guy to bits, because he gave me, I'd had a break, you know, in 2008, I think it was, 9, a chap called Bill Clark phoned me. Oh no, I tell a lie. I'd spotted a piece of my work at Bill Clark's, and he had a very good excellent reputation. And he'd sold it for £1,000, and I phoned him up and asked him about this, you know. And he said to me, "I've been looking for you, would you bring some work?" So I said, "Well, I can't, I'm cheeky, I said, I'm a bit busy at the moment, but you know, it's up to you." He said, "Can I come down and see you?" I said, "Yeah." And then when he got to my house, he said, "You're one of the first artists I've had to chase." He said, "I've got them queued up." So I said, that's delightful, that. And that's the truth, and Bill would say that. But again, I've under Bill's guidance, I've grown and developed. It's given me the time and space to develop things, which Dave Gunning was, and Dave Gunning being the first. I went back to Dave and I said to Dave, look, I've got this Bill Clark. Oh, Bill Clark's interested. He's a marvellous guy to be working with. He said, go. I said, no, I can't leave you, Dave. He said, well, no, you don't have to do that. He said, but go put some work in. You can shortchange me a little bit, but I want you to get on. Because this was the kind of guy he was. He cared about his artists. I want you to get on, and Bill Clark will get you on at Clark Art. So I said, right. And so now, as I say, it's 2016, and I love showing with Bill Clark. I still work with Dave Gunning, and I have another gallery in town, a small gallery in Manchester.